Hey board game fans, I'm Steve Nash.
And I'm Michaela DiCesare, and here's our review of Descent.
This is a fantasy game that involved having a GM, which means Game Master, for those of you who don't know. A GM is a player who reads and controls the storyline of a dungeon, and also its monsters.
In Descent, most missions start off with a team of heroes who adventure down into a dungeon filled with monsters, puzzles, traps, chests, and final bosses. The game starts off by having the GM choose a scenario in the booklet provided. Then he lays out the map and only reveals the first room, where the heroes start. As the heroes progress through the dungeon, the GM reveals its content and reads a description of each room. It's also the GM's role to try to kill us and stop us from winning.
That's what I really like about this game. The storylines of each quest changes, but sometimes the description can be a little cheesy, but it still helps in visualizing what is going on inside one of those areas.
Yeah, there's also a small introduction that explains how the heroes ended up in this dungeon. So you have an element of role-playing your character as well. I mean, you can do almost anything and interact with other heroes by trading weapons, armor, items, and gold.
Actually, you can't trade gold, and if you want to drop an item, it vanishes into thin air and no one ever sees it again, which is one thing that disappointed me.
Okay, true. I forgot about that. You can trade gold amongst each other, but still, there is a good interaction between heroes, and sometimes funny conversations and arguments could happen, which I find is the high point of the game.
There aren't many high points in the game. I mean, most missions we've played were very easy, and the GM always seems to have a hard time stopping us. There isn't much of a challenge for their heroes when it comes to the monsters, but the puzzles can sometimes be tricky.
Okay, we've talked about the point of the game, and now let's review each aspect of it.
Okay, let's start with the actual design and what you can get in the box.
Well, the first thing that hit me was the amount of tokens and 3D monsters you get. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. We needed to buy a separate box to manage all the pieces. There are so many monsters with different abilities like stun, poison, fire breathing, and other things that affects you, the heroes, and they made the tokens of each of them. They could have saved a lot of room printing different things on each side or each token.
Yeah, lots of material here. I mean, if you're a Dungeons & Dragons game master or any other role-playing game master, you should definitely buy this game for the amount of stuff you can get. Also, they have a scenario builder that allows you to create your very own quest and mission.
Yeah, so the content of this box is great. You get what you pay for, the artwork on the items and characters are beautiful, the tiles are interlocking, which every game should have if it's using tiles.
So to all board game companies out there, use interlocking tiles.
Okay, let's move on to the battle system and gameplay.
Well, the battle system is just amazing. The dices you get are marked with different symbols and describe what you rolled.
I love the battle system. It's simple, yet makes it fun to attack. However, in this game, you hardly roll to defend yourself.
Which is okay, still not a bad thing. Just try to get good armor while playing the game. Or choose a hero that has lots of armor at the start of the game. There are lots of characters to choose from.
Another thing I wanted to mention is that you can have familiars that follow you around and go get items for you and basically help out your hero along the quest. And I just love when games implement followers and pets.
It's true, we forgot to mention the village. Basically, you can travel through portals that lead outside the shop for items, rest, and trade with fellow heroes. Another idea, however, there are too many portals in the dungeon.
Yeah, it's way too hard for the GM to win sometimes, and you're gonna have to go online to see what other people are doing, changing rules of the game, making new ones. I mean, like I said, it's a great game to buy, play, and make lots of house rules that make the game better. So what do you give Descent overall?
I give it a 7 on 10. I think the contents are great, nice artwork, great battle system, just we're losing interest halfway through the game. My hero becomes too powerful and there isn't any more challenge in the second part of the game.
I agree with all that, and some rules do need to be changed and reviewed online. Lots of things to remember, and just way too hard for the game master to beat the heroes. So I'm going to give it a 6 on 10. It's a great concept, but sometimes it was just hard for me to stay in the game. However, I want to add that you can use this game to make a 10 on 10 game. You get all the pieces you need, and all you have to do is create some rules and make your very own 10-star game. If you're a fantasy game lover, you have to buy this game for so many reasons.
So there you have it, folks. To get our latest reviews, check us out on Twitter or follow us on our Facebook page at Bored to Death TV.
Yeah, and you can also send us emails to let us know what games you want to see reviewed on the show.
Thanks again for watching, and happy gaming.